Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome back.
Welcome to the Revolutionary Baddies Podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
We are here. I am your host. My name is Dee Dee.
And I am your host, Brittany.
And we are back for another episode.
Ooh.
First of all, Happy New Year.
Yes.
We are reporting from the past.
All right. But we're always in the future.
We actually literally are always in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So Happy New Year 2026.
I hope it's good to us.
That's all we can do.
I think we got to take it.
Yeah, we got to take hold.
This is the year of taking.
Seizing.
Run it up.
Let me get that.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
It's mine.
We need this year.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to let... Come on now, people. We got to take our joy back. When they sit there and watch night service, we are reclaiming this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to. So we are back with another really, really exciting episode. And this was actually a topic that in the last season, we were like, oh, we didn't talk about this. And we really need to.
And it's really what we do, what we're doing with this podcast.
Yeah.
Quiet as kept.
Quiet as kept. We are in the lineage of Black educators.
Yes.
We stand firm on that lineage. So, welcome to the Revolutionary Baddies Podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about
Education. Knowledge is power.
That's what they say. That's what we say.
It really is. The more you know.
Yeah. So, it's a new year, but before we jump into all of that, how are you doing? How you been, Brittany?
Fabulous. Fabulous. I've been good because I've been deciding to be good. Let me speak a word to y'all right now. It's a rough world out here. And I keep telling people, you better find some simple joys in life. It could be your favorite biscuit for breakfast.
Yeah.
It could be a walk. It could be a night on the town. It could be a book. We got to take what's ours, because all the other stuff is a distraction. The TV, the news, everything. Lord have mercy. The bills. The planet summits.
The state of the
world. But, I've been good because I'm like, I'm going to enjoy what I have, especially during these times when people try to take it from us.
Listen.
Okay, the heat is on in my home.
Yeah. People just got their SNAP benefits back. Crazy.
And they had to reapply. Which is another way of trying to eliminate more people who were qualified from being qualified. So in this day and age, with everything that's happening and the thievery of the capitalist, white supremacist, patriarchal society, I'm doing good because I'm just holding on to what I got and being grateful for it.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
And your baby's birthday is coming up. / your motherhood anniversary.
7 years a mother.
Yeah.
7 years a mother. It's been an education.
Yeah.
It has provided me. I've been in the University of Motherhood for 7 years. A lot of lessons, a lot of teaching. My daughter is my teacher. Teaches me a lot of patience, a lot of things that I say aloud to her. I'm like, damn, I need to hear that myself. Sometimes I'll be like, go in there and clean up your room and just take care of your stuff. And then I'll go walk down the hall and I'm like, damn, I could do that too, huh? Or I'll be like, girl, just slow down. Just slow down in life. You can't rush through things. And then I'm like, you have been rushing all week, all month. Let me get to the next day, the next moment. So I learn a lot. I'm a student of life in this motherhood game. So What
I
a
love that.
blessing.
Love that. Love that. Shout out to Yali. Happy birthday, baby girl.
Look, the little mini revolutionary baddie, I hope y'all are ready in
I
the
don't think-
future.
There's no way they are.
They can't be.
There's no way.
She's
gonna be too much.
Yeah. And that's the best type of woman. A too much type of woman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to celebrate her this week. I am doing pretty good. We are in the past again, y'all.
Yes.
So, first of all, the weather is making me, for sure, a little stuffy. So if you hear the stuffiness or a little heavy breathing, it's because yesterday it was about 75 degrees outside. And now today it's like 50.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I am back on the job market hunt.
Ooh.
Which I have not. Let me tell you, for those that don't know this about me, I'm an organizer, and for almost 6 years, I was the national director of a organization called BYP 100, which stands for Black Youth Project. And that organization, I was a member of it first, built up the Durham chapter, and then was organized into being the national director of the organization, which I did do from 2018 until June of 2024. And it was very rewarding work, but incredibly exhausting. And so I took basically a whole year off of working and just traveled. I was out of the country. I went to specifically Spanish speaking countries for 2 months. Was learning Spanish while I was there. I got to spend more time with my family and friends, built up this podcast. Ooh. Just really, really did the things that I wanted to do. And now we've reached a point. We have reached a point, good people.
Although we've come
literally
to the end. But you know what? That's important. What could happen if more Black women were given the opportunity to just have a sabbatical?
Yeah.
You know, not Julia Roberts and Eat, Pray, Love. No. Black women having our own type of sabbaticals to eat and pray and love. I mean, even when I have a week off from my daughter's spring break, my poops are healthier because I'm cooking. I keep bringing them poops up. If you are over 30, please go to a GI, y'all. Colon cancer rates are up. Pancreatic cancer rates is up. Check your poops. Make sure they float. But I just feel different with a week off.
Yeah.
Of what you can do when your body isn't in hustle mode, up, edit, moving, working, home. Okay, take a nap, go back to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, look at me scrambling eggs with roasted Roma tomatoes and a feta cheese crumble versus just drinking a coffee and powering through. So yeah. I love that for you. Look what you were able to help build.
I know.
The podcast came from rest.
It did. It really did. Yeah. It really did. And so, while it's been fun, I am back looking for work. And that is like a
job.
It's babes. I'm like, do I have to make a LinkedIn profile?
All of that is so stressful.
God damn. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. So I'm just kind of dipping back into things. I know it is incredibly privileged for me to even, first of all, be able to take the time off that I have and move with not as much aggression as I imagine a lot of people have to be when it comes to not working, being unemployed. But I am a part of the unemployed class. Apparently, we also make podcasts.
Look, but you know what? That's the thing about capitalism. It kills creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So many more people could have
so many things.
So many things.
Yeah.
The world could have so many things. Our society, the amount of innovation that we could have. If people could use their brains towards something that it was actually wired to do, that they're passionate about, and not just going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
9 to 5.
Yeah. Stay alive.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're doing good. I'm excited for us to go into the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be going home. Home for me is both Durham and Philadelphia. So I'm excited to go up to Philly and, just be around my peoples.
Mm-hmm. My Thanksgiving plan is to go out to eat because Black women deserve to enjoy holidays. Let me say that again. Black women deserve to enjoy holidays.
Yeah.
All of that cooking, cleaning, especially Thanksgiving, I think that demands a lot of labor. And a lot of, Black, men, it doesn't even have to be Black, but men will cook too. They'll fry the turkeys or handle something like that. But overwhelmingly, like prepping for the guests to come into town, cleaning the house, making the 1 billion sides, because Thanksgiving really is a side type of holiday.
It really is.
Cleaning it up.
The mains is not
storage
the mains.
closet. Storage Tupperware containers, sending plates, communicating for everybody to show up a time.
Scheduling when you're going to get the groceries from where.
Do you have to go to this store to get this specific thing?
Yes, I do. I did Thanksgiving. I did the entire Thanksgiving for my family last year because even though my family is on my mama's side, my family is from the South, from North Carolina. They are not big cookers. Like they just, everybody got a thing that they do, and that's their thing. But that thing is not actually helpful for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's, it's all food, but it's not what you expect. I'm like, my grandmom can make some good shells and broccoli, but we not eating that for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I did do that last year, but yeah, I won't be doing that this year.
Yeah. This is going to be my 3rd year going out to eat for Thanksgiving. And it's so nice. And I love when I come back from the restaurant and I take off my bra and I lay on the couch and I look at Instagram and I see my people still waiting to eat. And it's 5 or 6 o'clock. I'm like, I know y'all hungry. I'm on to something else for the day. Or I'm just trying to pull up to somebody's house and play cards, or
Yeah.
And I usually will bop over to somebody's house who did have a traditional Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I'm fed by then, and I'm good. I've had the experience. But yeah, I be watching people, and I'm like, you still ain't ate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I don't think we'll go. My mom is very much like dinner is done at 2 p.m.
She's on it.
She's not playing.
You know what? We need more people like that in our community. We've got to get to that place. We've got to start looking at Thanksgiving like a lunch and not a dinner.
Yeah.
But it's still fixed in people's minds. It's a dinner. It's a feast. And because of that, it's served at dinner time. Yeah. But everything is closed that day. So what else are you eating before then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're just starving until 7 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm breaking traditions. That's always my thing.
Or making new ones.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be broken. I think it's a beautiful thing to cook and fellowship and, break bread with people at home. I think that's beautiful. And I'm going to probably get back to that at some point in my life. At one point, I'll be a grandma. And I ain't going to be just taking my babies out to eat. I'm going to hit them with some classics. But then there will come a point where I'll be like, pick me up and take me to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Speaking of traditions, we are going to be talking about education.
Mm-hmm.
And education, I'll say for me, and, obviously I'll share things about my experience, being educated, especially in public schools in Philadelphia. But education has really been, it's a core value in my family. Like my mom's side of the family in particular, these are the folks that are from Wilson, North Carolina. like most of them do something in education, some kind of way, whether it's being a teacher, a professor. My sister is a elementary school teacher in Philadelphia. She actually teaches at the elementary school that our mom went to.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's like the sister that's like actually my mom if my mom hadn't like met my dad, basically. Like
Lord.
she like lived in the same apartment as my parents did randomly. Like it was not, I didn't even know that they lived there.
Wow.
She lived there when she first started working as a teacher at my mom's old elementary school. So and my grandmom was a professor at North Carolina Central University for a long time. Her sister was a professor at Medgar Evers College in New York. I have a cousin that runs a public charter school down in Wilson. So it's a lot of educators, teachers, people that work in administrative roles. I have aunties and uncles that were principals of schools. Like it's just always been it's a core value in my family. So
I would say it is too, primarily on my mother's side. My great-grandparents, or I know for sure my great-grandmother was a teacher. My grandmother and grandfather were both teachers. And my mom has a PhD in Christian education. She has been the board director for the founding board for a charter school here in Durham, in which my daughter attends. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the moment that it dawned on me how unique I am as an American, particularly as an African American, when it comes to education. I was in college and I was talking to my professor, who kind of had me up under his wing, and I was telling him how, my great grandparents went to Shaw and I think Elizabeth City, and then my grandparents went to Shaw and my mother went to Central. And of course I was there in college. And he was like, Brittany, you're 4th generation college educated. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And he's like, do you know how rare that is? Not just because you're a black woman, but like a lot of Americans are not 4th generation college educated.
Right.
And especially, and then also having some of those people have higher than bachelor degrees. And I was like, I guess I never really thought about it. Mm-hmm. And he was like, it's not common. Yeah. And I was like, well, now that you say it, I guess so. It like that moment that I was like naively like, yeah, my great grandparents, I think they went here. And he was like, that's kind of a big deal. And, but then it also landed on me that I broke the HBCU tradition. Oh, it was a dark day for me when I just said, damn, nobody. But I will say that nobody in my family was really proud. My mother went to Central, NCCU, but it wasn't put on me like you have to carry the legacy of us going to HBCUs. But it should have been. I think they could have did
pressure.
Because when I went to UNCG, A&T was down the street, so I was a fake Aggie, Spaggy Pride. And
University of North Carolina.
Right, I forget now. Everybody's in North Carolina. Whoop whoop. Which I think is now the largest HBCU in the country, enrollment wise.
A&T.
A&T.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's growing rapidly. If it's not that, it's on the way. And so my nephew, who was coming up behind me, 16 years younger than me, I put the pressure on him. One, it was pressure like, you're going to go to college. Yeah. And then I was like, as he got, in high school, I'm like, you will go to an HBCU. And I would prefer you to go to A&T. And he was like, okay. But when it came time for him to apply, he was putting in the applications all over. And he got into like ECU, I think, and UNCG. And so, he was calling with the acceptance letters. And he was excited. And I'll never forget when he called me at work. And I could see all his teeth on FaceTime. He was like, I got into A&T. And I was crying. And he was like, this is the letter I've been waiting on. And I'm like, the pressure worked.
It worked.
And my baby is now a sophomore there.
Yeah.
And doing well. So, yeah. But once again, I've said in season 1, why it was probably best for me not to go to an HBCU. Okay.
Yeah.
The distractions. Sometimes the Lord works in mysterious ways. But yeah, shout out to HBCUs. We'll get into that throughout this episode. So
we must.
Yeah. So I guess we can't take for granted how much we love learning and reading and doing this podcast, because it's literally was ingrained in us.
Yeah.
I saw my mom read a lot growing up, and I thought, damn, what's up with what's in them books? I mean, like, I knew it, like, okay, it must be something cool, but she just had so many books. And she's like, you and your brother need to read more. And I'm like, girl, bye, I can watch this on TV. And now I'm turning into her.
Absolutely. I definitely grew up with books scattered about in the house, mostly like cheap romance novels.
Eric Jerome Dickey. Coldest winter ever had the streets on lock.
I was also really into Be More Careful. That was my first one.
Do I know that one?
Be More like Baltimore. Be More Careful. Yeah. That was the book that was my intro. I didn't start with Coldest Winter Ever, but I did start with something close.
Oh, well, I have to tell the story of the magical book between me and Dee Dee and our family sharing this book.
Oh, yes.
So last season we were preparing for, I think, the Everything is Political episode. And we were talking about socialism, communism. And so my mom was like, I have a book for you. And she gave me the book, was it Left of Karl Marx, about Claudia Jones. And my mom was like, actually, Joyce gave this to me, which is Dee Dee's grandmother, which her and my mom briefly worked together, like a contract job years ago. And she was like, yep, she did give it to me. And she hands me the book. It has Dream Defenders sticker in it, which Dee Dee, you did. Yeah, you worked with Dream Defenders, right?
Yeah, I was. I was in there.
And so I'm like, and my mom's had the book for years. Like, what are the chances that Dee Dee's grandmother and my mother met? Of course, she gave my mother a book. And then years later, my mother would give it to me for an episode from me and Dee Dee's podcast.
Serendipitous.
Them books.
Serendipitous.
Yes. It was like, what?
It's so sweet. Very, very sweet. Yeah. So we got to keep that book. That's like our...
Yeah. I might need to have this cut out of the episode, because my mom going to be like, bring that book back.
No, my grandmama's going to be like,
reparations.
She was like, now where is it? Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
And we all like, oh, it's so nice.
I got the book.
Yeah.
I got the heirloom.
Right.
So as you can hear, we're excited about education. I'm excited for this episode, for this topic, because education goes beyond, a classroom. It goes beyond being in a formal setting to learn. Education is really the gist of life. Like, we're always learning. And we get education in a lot of different forms. So I looked up, I love looking up words, if y'all don't know that. The origin of the word education is from the Latin root educare. Now,
educare.
Educare. And it means to lead out or bring forth, which implies that through organized questions, knowledge, understanding, and the potential of children have to be brought out, because that's who we educate first, our children. But a formal definition is education is the process of teaching and learning, which includes acquiring general and specific knowledge, developing reasoning and judgment, and gaining skills for life and profession. It is not limited to formal schooling, but also includes informal learning through life experiences, and it encompasses the development of character, values, and critical thinking. That's what education is. Not for you to go and learn logarithms. I'm beefing with my teacher from high school. Algorithms from calculus. But an education is really to develop you as a person.
Yeah.
And
ideally,
that's what education is supposed to be. And what this episode, of course, because we're the Revolutionary Baddies, will focus on is how do we have that in a white supremacist, patriarchal, capitalistic society? Because we're not meant to be developed as whole humans under capitalism. We are capital. We're loot.
Again.
Loot.
Again.
Right? So, and specifically, what does education mean for Black people and in Black liberation?
Yeah, and especially outside of the formality of schools. And we want to talk a little bit about just how damaging in a lot of ways the education or the lack thereof actually that we have in this country, the actual decline of literacy that's happening in this country is really embarrassing.
I would say that's probably one of the biggest things that we face when you look at our political system, and it's not just as Black people but as Americans.
Yeah,
we cannot read and comprehend, and we don't learn things to make us rebellious, to make us revolutionary, to make us politically aware and mature. We learn skills to be able to do jobs.
Yeah.
The progress of a country is oftentimes determined by how educated it is. And like Cuba has one of the highest per capita rates of doctors and teachers. United States, not so much. And it makes a difference in a society. You can see the effects of illiteracy and people just being educated to grind.
Yeah.
So, of course, when talking about anything in this wonderful, beautiful country, we got to go back to slavery. So, one thing that I found interesting when getting ready for the episode is that, it wasn't surprising, but is that the United States and its predecessor, the British colonies, is the only country known to have anti-literacy laws on the books in force. Not issues with literacy or lack of literacy, but actual laws passed to keep people illiterate. We see the effects of that today. So, anti-literacy laws were passed, mainly throughout the South between 1740 and 1830. And these laws were formed to ensure that enslaved people could not be taught to read or write. And these laws were often extended to freemen and other people of color. And pretty much you could be penalized by fines or imprisonment or whippings, lashings, if you were caught teaching Black people how to read.
So, that's 1740 to 1830. And those that's a long time. We're talking about 90 years. So that is many, many generations of people that are learning how to criminalize people for learning, Black people for learning.
And it's crazy because as chattel slaves, we were property. So to tell people what they could or could not do with their property,
right,
in itself is like, what is it to you if someone wants to teach their slave, how to read or how to write, to assist them in maybe writing letters or doing things? But because people know how powerful education is, it's like literally a slave master could be imprisoned if they were found that their slaves were literate, that they were responsible for it. So even, a lot of these laws, even for people who, obviously you're a slave master, you're not a great person. But even if they thought, hey, what's the harm? I wouldn't mind them learning. It's always repercussions for white people as well.
Yeah. To
participate, even if they don't, it's not, racist. Well, If you're a slave owner, you're a racist. But, if you don't have necessarily certain positions, the greater society will push you towards these things by saying you can either comply or you can be penalized.
Yeah. I mean, the lengths and the sacrifice that Black people also went through to learn how to read, to learn how to write, to learn how to share knowledge with each other. And I think that, some of that sentiment around, I don't know. Part of me is like, is this a continuation of the anti-literacy laws, the the limitations around the education that we do have? Or is it that these people actually are themselves dumb and have nothing to teach us, actually?
That part.
I mean, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
It could be both in some cases. But one thing about it, they purposely criminalized Black people learning.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, again, we're just want to double down on this point of us getting free was never the plan.
Never.
It was never the plan.
And the biggest threat they thought to us getting free was being educated, because and people did get their freedom through writing, freedom passes, forging them. And then once again, when you can read the papers and you can see about the news about the Haitian rebellion that's happening, or the French rebellion that's happening, or you can read a history book about the American Revolution that happened maybe just a few generations before. Or read the Constitution.
Right.
Read the Declaration. Imagine being a slave and reading the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
All men, certain inalienable rights.
Right.
Explain it to me, bitch.
And it was written during this time.
Yeah. And so it was of major concern, and it still to this day is, if we can learn, we can set ourselves free. It sounds cliche, hearing up knowledge is power, blah, blah, blah. But the more you learn, you really realize how transformative education is, because that is actually the root of what education is supposed to be. And they knew it. They wanted us to read certain passages of the Bible. Not the whole thing.
But not the Bible. Not the whole book.
Not the whole thing. Just a couple of verses. And so I think it's definitely our responsibility today to really honor the people who risk their lives to be educated when they could be killed, lynched for it. That we can't take it lightly. Like, I just ain't into reading. You know what? Stop saying that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and look, I get it. Once again, I think we talked about this on season 1 or some episode. There was a good amount of time where I was not reading. I was in the club, baby.
Oh, yeah. No, same.
Absolutely. And I don't read every night.
Yeah.
I don't read every week. But don't put it as like me, I don't hike. And I might not ever go on a hike. And I think that that's acceptable. But I don't think it's acceptable. Now, I should exercise. Let me do my... Let Dee Dee gave me a look. Now, I'm not saying I should not move my body. But an elevated hike, I may never do it. Or I may.
Yeah.
But I don't think people should talk about reading like a hike. Like, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll do one of them things. Oh, babes. We'll get there. So
I'm so excited for people to read more. I hope that if we do nothing else with this podcast, it is to encourage you niggas to read.
It's really fun.
It really could be, because
different books. It's just
so many different books.
It's just as entertaining as watching TV. Now, obviously, it's a little bit more like engaging on your side.
Yeah.
But the craziest things you've seen on TV, there's a book with something 10 times crazier, more juice, more drama,
more creativity.
Like, whoa, the worlds that you can go in, because most shows and movies are adapted from books anyway.
Yeah. And books is just one part of, learning. We're harping on that because we're talking about specifically like the anti-literacy laws, and a lot of that was associated specifically with books and making books, frowned upon for Black people.
Yeah.
But
it's other publications,
Yeah. I mean, magazines, it's all kind of stuff. There's digital magazines that are actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a book.
No. Just look into some things.
Yeah.
So going back to like the anti-literacy laws throughout the North. So we know what was going on in the South. Unfortunately, we always know what's going on in the South. And, but throughout the North, Black people were being barred from public schools. There were several attempts to establish integrated schools, and there was some success. And then there was, of course, mobs that would form.
Mm-hmm.
And I read a statistic, I have to find it, but in a 12-year time span, I think this was post-Civil War, 600 Black schools were burnt down.
Yeah.
Not schools trying to integrate. Schools built by Black people, ran by Black people, for Black children, were burned to the ground. So once again, the attacks on our ability to be educated have always existed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the lineage of education for Black people in this country has been a fight. Yeah. It has always been a fight. And I think sometimes talking to, regular people, not even like organizers, in terms of the challenges that people face with public schools, the challenges, just the lack of everything that exists in our public school systems. And sometimes folks default to the answer of, well, we just need to build our own schools. Yes, I am in agreement with you. And there is something about that to me that still leaves out all of the other kids that don't have the privilege of going to an alternative school.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something worth reckoning with.
And when we build our own schools, if we do not build our own curriculums to go in those schools, if we have a Black school, Black principal, Black teachers dapping them up in the hallways and doing the, crank that soldier boy with the students that goes viral. If we have all of that, which is beautiful, I think it creates safe spaces for those students to see themselves and to be themselves. Mm-hmm. But if they're going down to history class and they're still learning about Napoleon.
Yeah.
Only the pyramids in Egypt.
America Vespucci. What was that? I just remember.
What?
I remember being told, maybe like middle high school, that like technically Christopher Columbus did not discover America, and it was somebody named America Vespucci, and that's why they named it America.
Right. Okay, it's coming back to me. That is coming back to me. Yeah.
Y'all remember America Vespucci?
Vespucci.
I know.
Right. I'm still learning about.
I know I'm chopping up that colonizers' names, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they can't get our names right.
Can't get mine.
So, if they're going in and learning about the achievements of the ancient Romans and ancient Greece and not learning anything about the vast history of Asia, the vast history of Africa, the vast history of what is now Latin America, the vast history of this country with the indigenous population.
Yeah, actually.
Then okay, Black bodies are in a Black school and they still learning about cracker history.
Right. I mean, and there's so many limitations. Like, I imagine, I don't know the ins and outs of like school administration and testing.
Yeah.
But in order for, even if you do have a school, if you're looking to get any kind of funding, you have to subscribe to very specific, like, standardized tests. And those tests are not substantial. for it's just not enough. It's not enough. Some of it is literally irrelevant things, and some of it is like not substantial to what you could be learning.
And I think it's just this because the culture that we live in, it's this ideal that to be a worldly person, to be educated, to be able to go out in the world. Yeah. Like, imagine being Black or any race and you're traveling abroad and someone starts talking about Julius Caesar and you don't know them. It's like, what? Right. Have you learned? Have you been educated? But bring up like Mansa Musa, like nobody hardly knows him or talks about him. And that's acceptable because he was, a force in Africa. Yeah. And so it's still this ideal, this deep-seated ideal that we have to have a Eurocentric form of learning so that we can learn something more than that, but we still need to learn that in order to be able to understand, like, Roman culture, which created certain forms of because everything came out of Europe, supposedly. Democracy, communism, socialism.
The founding of the world.
All political philosophies are rooted, in literally philosophy, Socrates, Aristotle, everything is just out of Europe, right? Yeah. They didn't get it from nowhere. They didn't travel and learn from other philosophers and things of this sort.
/steal.
Thieves, the thievery. We talked about that on the reparations episode. Yeah. So it's just, we have to have an entirely different mentality towards education now, like, in how we want to build with it to move forward. Yeah. But, we've always had a legacy in our community of trying to build and educate ourselves. And like I said, it's just always, of course, been interrupted. Yeah. One figure that I learned about coming out of slavery was John Barry Meacham and his wife, Mary Meacham. And so pretty much to combat these anti-literacy laws, they were in Missouri and they passed some new laws, and he and his wife found a steamboat and they built the Floating Freedom School, which was on the Mississippi River, and it was outside of Missouri's jurisdiction. It was technically, because it was in the river, federal jurisdiction, and they had a school. They would take people on this boat in the middle of the river to educate them. Because John had been arrested for teaching in the basement of a church. And he was also the founder of the first Black church west of the Mississippi River, the first African Baptist church and school. So we've always had these efforts, a long legacy of trying to create and etch out a space for us to teach each other. Yeah. To learn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have some giants in our history that have really helped to name what is happening, also really challenge like what's happening. One of our heroes for us is Brother Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson did a lot of things, but one of the gifts that he gave us was him being a writer. And a sociologist. I mean, basically. And specifically the miseducation of the Negro. He has lots of other books as well, but this is the one that we really focused on for this episode.
He laid it out. I believe it was published in 1933. And he says a lot in this book. He kind of goes through these different facets of how the Negro has been miseducated and how we can be better educated. And these things still ring true today. One quote I pulled, he said that Negroes who have been so long inconvenienced and denied opportunities for development are naturally afraid of anything that sounds like discrimination. They are anxious to have everything the white man has, even if it's harmful. And Woodson argues that the educational system developed in both Europe and America is antiquated and does not even meet the needs of white men, let alone black men. Therefore, the black man must develop his own program of learning. And what I took from that is, I think something that we will kind of always grapple with in being a part of this society in which we're assimilated in, but always kind of the other, is that we don't want to be shut out of institutions. We want the opportunity. We want a fair shot like anybody else. We want to be able to be educated. We want to be able to buy homes. We want to be able to have, quote unquote, the American dream. But when he says that, we are anxious to have everything that the white man has, even if it's harmful, and we'll get into this more as we talk about integration, is that we have fought to be included in this educational system, which Woodson kind of argues is bankrupt. It doesn't have anything that is even sustainable or even something that enriches white men, let alone black men, to come into learning. And so I think that that's something that we still struggle with as we go to PWIs or just in our regular educational pursuits.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm getting this education, but is it doing them any good?
Yeah.
It don't seem like it. And so what good can it do me?
Yeah. I mean, I think about, like, again, I went to school in Philly, went to public schools, specifically in Southwest Philly. And all of the schools that I went to were very black, first of all. They were all like over 85% black students. Pretty much everyone was poor, working class. So there weren't like, I didn't go to school with rich people. Some people went to school with rich people. I don't know nothing about that. And those schools are historically underfunded. They're part of the whole No Child Left Behind and called a part of the consistent defunding of Philadelphia public schools by our school district, which is actually ran by the state. It's not actually ran by Philadelphia. It's at the state level. And that's like a newer development that has happened, but it's contributed to schools closing and the lack of funding and the lack of updates to books, textbooks, and just understaffed, overpopulated classroom sizes. Like, you name it, that is where I went to elementary, middle, and high school. And when I was in high school, specifically, I went to a really huge high school. It was like 1,200 students, and my family my dad also went to this high school. His mama went to this high school. So we're 3 generations in at this high school, but it's changed from the time that my dad was there till the time I was there. When I was in my senior year, I had got an award for my high achievements in math in particular. And so, I felt very proud of that.
Oh, you knew the logarithms.
I didn't actually, because here's the thing. What I was learning in my 12th grade, I forget what the class was called, was actually like 9th or 10th grade math that I was learning. And I didn't realize that until I went to college. And when I went to college, we had, you got to take the test so they can see if your ass need to be in the remedial classes. Both in math and English, we had to take these tests. And my ass was right in the remedial math with all the rest of the freshmen. I had to take the class that don't even count.
I probably
just to get. It was called basic math.
I didn't get an assessment, but if I did, I would have been in it.
Yeah, English, I was okay. I could start at English 1, which I was surprised by. But math, yeah, I actually was just learning 9th grade, 10th grade math.
They had us in calculus, pre-cal.
Oh no,
and I was like, "What is this?" I remember I asked the teacher. I was like, "When would I ever need this?" And she was like, "They used it to build pyramids." And I was like, I guarantee you, I don't have a future in that.
Not what I'm doing.
No, ma'am. So and that's honestly a part of this whole discussion about education is, what are they teaching us that we need to know? right? I think if I had been identified as gifted, then obviously, yeah, put me in pre-cal, put me in calculus,
Yeah.
you know, put me on a math track.
Mm-hmm.
But it was literally like, you have to take these classes. It was like the math class of senior year.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know how to relate this to my life. Meanwhile, I was signing paperwork to take loans for college, and nobody was teaching me about principal, interest on the loan.
Yeah.
I didn't know
it. None of that.
None of that. Managing money.
Yeah.
Nothing. But yeah, learn this logarithm.
Yeah. You really got beef with the logarithm.
I can't remember her name, but the bitch used to get I was beefing with it.
That's funny.
But I was always challenging in school, because I'm like, what are we learning this for? Certain things. And then there were other things that I felt like we skipped over really quickly, that we needed to talk more about, like history and civics and economics.
Still in the process of reading this book called Want to Start a Revolution, about radical women in the Black freedom struggle. And there is a chapter that talks about that's highlighting revolutionary women. It's called, the chapter is like Revolutionary Women, Revolutionary Education, and talks about the building that the Black Panther Party did, building near community schools. And it's highlighting Erica Huggins and Angela LeBlanc Ernest. And they also, call upon some of, the foremothers also of educating, of being a radical educator. So calling forth Sojourner Truth, Mary Mcleod Bethune, Septima Clark, Ella Baker, Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer. Like, these women were also all educators, along with all of the great stuff that they did for human rights, really. And these are all people that I did not learn about until I became an organizer. Not even in college did I learn about. I mean, I knew about Mary Mcleod Bethune. I kind of knew about Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, but that was about it. And just a little bit that I did know, which was not a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm grateful that I'm actually still learning about all these people.
Yeah. And I think, what would our lives, and not just me and yours, but, for the people listening, what would our lives look like if we had learned about these people as we were learning about George Washington, as we were learning about Christopher Columbus?
Instead of,
what would it have been at 9 and 10 years old to know about the work of Ida B. Wells?
Yeah.
To know about the work of Ella Baker?
Yeah.
To know about Fannie Lou Hamer? What would it have been for us as Black girls?
Mm-hmm.
And as Americans, because these were people who advanced society forward, not just for Black people.
Right.
Exactly. But the success of Black people is the success of this nation. So these are national heroes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That didn't own slaves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or, do ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
Without all the problematic things.
Yeah.
So what would our educational system look like if we learn the whole history?
Yeah. That's actually a really great question for the listeners. I'm going to put that one in the show notes. Y'all make sure y'all comment your responses.
It will look
because we want to know.
It would look like a revolution.
Yeah. I mean, we need a education revolution.
Absolutely. Woodson, Carter G. Woodson says, in a larger context, but can you expect teachers to revolutionize the social order for the good of the community? Indeed, we must expect this very thing. The educational system of a country is worthless unless it accomplishes this task. Let me say that again. The educational system of a country is worthless unless it accomplishes revolutionizing the social order for the good of the community.
Yeah.
If we're not teaching people to go out and change the world, essentially, and make it a better place, a better society, to take all the beautiful things that they know and apply it towards human good. What are we learning?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because we can learn about Julius Caesar, but what are we learning about his life that we can apply to, like, the pitfalls of politics, the pitfalls of, leadership? But that's not how it's like, all right, here's this guy. He was cool. He conquered.
Now he was cool.
He was a conqueror. That's the side that we learn on it. And so a much more robust and full history about everything.
Yeah. And obviously with Black people, when there is no way, we will make a way.
Always. And
we have done that. I really want to highlight some of the history of around our HBCUs, our historically Black colleges and universities. And I am a very proud alum of Cheyney University, which is the oldest historically Black institution for higher learning, founded in 1837 in Philadelphia. Okay, Cheyney is the first. I know y'all ain't know that. It's okay.
I didn't know that till I met you.
It's okay. Lincoln is not the first. Shaw is not the first. Wilberforce is not the first. Cheyney University is the first. Okay. And it was actually originally named the African Institute. Was the original
Plain
name.
Plain and simple.
I mean, just also just kind of honoring where Black people, we always knew where we came from. We knew we didn't come from here. And so it was Black abolitionists, slavery abolitionists, that got together and built this school called the African Institute. And this is in 1837. So this is
Civil War.
Pre-Civil War. Pre-Emancipation Proclamation. It was later then changed to the Institute of Colored Youth, and then the people, as they do with the HBCUs, acquired some land from the Quakers, and Quakers, one of them last name was Cheyney, and so then it became Cheyney Teachers College. And the Cheyney Teachers College was specifically a training institute for Black students across for Black people, Black students across the country. And a lot of those original teachers, those graduates of the Teachers College, went on to actually help to build some of the other HBCUs that we have throughout this country. Cheyney is the first. I just want to say that again.
Cheyney is the first. And North Carolina is home to it's number 2 as home to the most HBCUs in the country.
10 of them things.
Alabama is first.
Shout out to Alabama.
Shout out
to Alabama.
And so throughout, the country, a lot of the HBCUs are centered in the South. First of all, we had to have them before. There was
literally.
Yeah. There was
literally no options. No options. And it's really, it's I don't really know how to feel about it. I've kind of feel sad about it that just there's been a massive decline in Black kids going to HBCUs, even though like on our social medias, like you might see all this stuff about homecomings and marching bands and all of that stuff, but actually it's not that much of an increase that has happened over the years of Black kids going to HBCUs.
Yeah, it's definitely, I found to be unfortunate. So I went to a PWI, but I never looked at
PWI,
predominantly white institution.
Thank you, Brittany.
Which is America. I went to an American school, pretty much. I never looked at it because I did apply to 4 colleges. I applied to two PWIs and I applied to 2 HBCUs. I got into all 4.
Period.
And I ended up going to UNCG. but I never looked at it like I was doing something better than my friends who were going to HBCUs. But unfortunately, there is a mentality out there.
Absolutely.
Where, and once again, when we're going to college, we're children making this decision. We're 17 to 18 year old. 18, you're legal. You can vote. You're still very much a child.
I was 17.
I was 17 as well. So it then goes back to, there was a whole generation before us that did not instill in our generation as millennials a love and respect of HBCUs and honoring them as institutions of higher learning.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, shout out to the movie Higher Learning, by the way.
Yes.
John Singleton did it with that one.
8.
Oh, man.
8.
I know that movie by heart.
That is such a good movie.
Damn. We gotta have a movie next time.
Tyra Banks kind of ate her
She
role.
did. Lord, when they popped her. Oh, Lord.
Baby, that was a good...
Omar Epps.
Omar
Give him the
Epps.
Academy Award.
Ice Cube.
Busta Rhymes.
That's who I'm thinking about.
But no,
Ice Cube was in it. Okay,
but him and Busta Rhymes were friends.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh no, Ice Cube was that nigga, and I was like, I want to meet him when I go to college. and I did meet some Ice Cube like niggas. Like, you've been in school for a long time,
yeah,
and you real chill, but you at this white ass school.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, we've got to, that's why it was so important for me to pressure my nephew to go. I'm like, no, trust me, it's gonna be the best experience. You're gonna feel safe. I'm like, beautiful girls, all types, all color. Like, I'm doing whatever I can to like tell him like the homecomings, everything, the events. And I had to draw up that excitement in him. So by the time it was time for him to apply for college, he was like, yeah, I should be going to a HBCU.
Period.
Train up a child. Okay.
That shit ain't work on my sisters. They ended up going to a PWI. They were like, we always, all I have been is going to school with black people. I want to do something different. Now look at you begging to come to the HBCU homecomings.
And I was surprised.
Because your school homecoming whack as fuck.
Whack.
Boring.
I can't confirm.
Boring.
Yeah. And I was really militant. So why I guess I was like Ice Cube's character in Higher Learning. Why my militant ass was at UNCG?
Right.
I don't know. And I actually still stuck to black people. I should have just took my black ass on down the street.
Right.
But I decided to become an African American Studies minor just because I enjoyed the classes because they were all black people.
Period.
I was like, no, I'm comfortable in this motherfucker. I went right into my vernacular.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was a very beautiful experience, but I do want us to, for those of us listening who are parents, it is up to us to instill in our children pride about black organizations, and specifically HBCUs, and say like, this is prestigious, and it doesn't just have to be Howard or Hampton,
oh god,
or FAMU,
or Spelman,
or Morehouse.
And not to say that HBCUs are not without fault. Let me be clear.
No.
Not saying that they are not innocent. A lot of the administration are actually very much against radicalism. They are incredibly conservative, very, respectability politics, black bourgeoisie, a lot of the administrators in particular. The professors, but the admin, those, they really are problematic.
Yeah.
They can be incredibly problematic. And I think the benefits of going to a HBCU is that you are actually around all kinds of black people. Like, you see just the wide range of blackness at a HBCU, and you're around that for as long as you're at the school, which is very unique, actually. Like, even if you grow up in a black neighborhood, I don't feel like I got the variety.
No. Yeah. A university is going to bring people from all over the country,
everywhere,
from outside of the country.
Exactly.
Coates talks about that a lot. I believe in Between the World and Me. He talks about going to Howard, and it was like this Mecca experience, like just stepping outside, and it's like, who are these niggas? I like them, right?
Yeah.
I got a little small portion in my PWI. I did see the variety of whites.
I bet you fucking did.
I'm gonna leave it at that because this is not what this episode is about.
Not at all. Not at all.
It was a variety,
but we always had to develop our own shit.
Yeah.
You know, because we weren't allowed in anything else. But once we gave ourselves the opportunity to build what we needed to build, we did that.
Yeah. And then came the opportunity, which kind of goes into like the choice between HBCUs or PWIs. We have to talk about integration.
Brittany been waiting on this one.
We can have a whole episode on integration, but we're going to obviously focus right now specifically on
schools and education.
Schools. And so obviously the infamous Brown versus Board Supreme Court decision legally ended segregation in schools. And this was in 1954. In many places, it was not enforced until the mid 1960s, going towards the 1970s, because of how hard states fought this decision.
Yeah.
Or just terrorized communities.
Yeah. Like threatened to like
bomb, blow it up.
And or like separate themselves from the United States.
Yeah. I'll leave this.
Yeah.
Please let Texas secede. It's not too late. We could totally let them go. And Florida.
Yeah.
My mom, I talked to her about it because my mother was born into segregation.
Yeah.
She was born in 1958. My father was born in 1956, and my mother attended segregated schools until 3rd grade. And so it was always interesting learning about like the end of segregation and the different stories, watching the movies. And then one day my mom was like, yeah, I went through it. And I'm like, wait. Like, the civil rights is just like, that's so long ago. And then she was like, yeah, no, I went to segregated schools. I went through integration. She said she really didn't have a lot of horror stories for herself. One, because it was younger children. So a little bit less hostility than maybe high schoolers.
Yeah.
And that, she was in a very small town, population, I believe less than 10,000. And I could be stretching it that it was even that many. And that it was a lot of working class black and white people who the parents already worked together. She was like, so I pretty much, the black and the white children in the town knew each other. So it wasn't a big deal all of a sudden that they were going to be together. And the parents were not segregated at work. They were integrated already at work. So it's like, is it really a big deal that our children would?
Yeah.
Now she said in a neighboring county, I believe she said in Hyde County, it didn't go well to the point that they shut down schools for over a year because they couldn't figure it out. The white parents were like, I will pull them. I won't send them to what was formerly a black school. And they just shut down all schools for an entire year until they could make some type of concessions.
Yeah.
And so I asked my mom, like, what was that experience like? Like her parents were teachers. So they themselves had to go from educating only black children to, all children, which was obviously easier for black educators.
Yeah.
We don't tend to have trouble getting along and accepting people. But, she said, for them, it was comments. Like she had to go home and tell her parents that I think somebody said her fro looked like Frederick Douglass, like a teacher. Comments about hair.
Oh.
Yeah. Different things of that sort. And so I think integration is still something we look back on today, and it's worth like, did it help us?
That's the question. That is a good question.
Leave that to the viewer.
I mean, I am sure that there is an argument to be made that it actually regressed whatever progress we could have made. And having to really subscribe, even if we built the buildings, we're still having to subscribe to the standardization that they've created. which a lot of that shit is not helpful.
Yeah. And I think integration is beautiful. Like, I think all races of people should be together, should be able to be together.
Mm-hmm.
But America has a terrible history and habit of saying, I will hold back everybody just to hold back black people.
Mm-hmm.
So I will underfund schools.
Yep.
Philadelphia is a big city, and it's not just a black city.
It's really not.
Baltimore is a major American city. It is not just a black city. It's a good percentage.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm. But America will say, I will starve everyone out before we let black people eat. Absolutely. And so in integration, I believe, it's my theory that a lot of the quality of the education went down because since when is America going to invest in educating black bodies?
I don't remember that time.
I haven't seen that part of the playbook, part of the drawing board, because we all know that was not a part of the plan.
It's not a part of the plan.
And so our education system fails not just black children, but all children by, once again, being underfunded, and not offering an education that really is transformative to the students, which is what Bell Hooks has a lot of research and work on. She wrote the book Teaching to Transgress.
Shout out to Bell Hooks. R.I.P.
Shout out to Bell Hooks.
A Libra
queen. Oh, is she?
Mm-hmm.
Balanced.
I try to keep up with all the Libras.
The Virgos, we hold on strong to Beyonce.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Greatest of all times. But, we got our ways. I told you my birthday twin is Tyler Perry. Diabolical. Diabolical.
My birthday twin is Keisha Cole and Genuine.
And the Black Panther Party.
And the Black Panther Party.
Claim that one first.
Ooh, I almost forgot. I should have said that one first.
Got it. Yeah, you leading with Keisha. It's crazy.
Shout out to them.
But yes, Libra Queen Bell Hooks. In Teaching to Transgress, it's a great book. But she talks about what it is to teach to transgress, which is to push these boundaries and to evolve us as both educators and as students. And that it has to be a spiritual practice. It has to be a political practice. The classroom cannot just be this place where we learn, which is called like the banking system. We pretty much just learn and regurgitate to pass tests. Right. Who was it that came up with the banking system? What's my boy name?
Paulo.
Yes.
Paulo Freire.
She bases a lot of her work in Teaching to Transgress on his theory around education. And so she mentions that what changed with integration is that black students had black teachers who saw the wholeness in them and were able to communicate with them. And that black teachers have always been revolutionary. But once they got integrated themselves, it wasn't just the children who were integrated. It was the educators who were also integrated into the system. They had to deal with hostile environments where they could be punished for teaching children appropriately.
Yeah.
And so I love the work. I definitely recommend checking out the book or just some of her articles about it, because we have to really refine or reconstruct completely what it is to walk into a classroom, what that space is supposed to represent, and how educators and students have to deal with each other and respect and bond with each other to really have the appropriate educational experience, which is hard to do when it's 40 students in a classroom and one teacher.
Yeah. And like old ass books and no money for real supplies.
And the students are hungry.
Yeah.
What would you do if your son was at home?
Crying alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry. And the only way to feed him. That was a bop.
A bop. And that little baby had to go to school hungry. And it's hard for these teachers to reach these students.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, it has to be a spiritual practice of really seeing the students for who they are and what they're going through and meeting them there.
Yeah.
And not just saying, you better come here, learn this, pass this test,
Mm-hmm.
and be a good capitalist crony,
Yeah. I mean, I want to highlight Dr. Mary Mcleod Bethune as well.
Talk about revolutionary baddie.
A revolutionary baddie. I mean, I watched a documentary on her a couple weeks ago. It was a short documentary on her, but just someone that I feel like it just seemed like she found her purpose very, very early and just moved. Like, was just moving, like, constantly. Mary Mcleod Bethune, she was born in 1875 in South Carolina. I believe she was born in South Carolina, and then her family moved to Florida, and that's kind of where her journey around education, fighting for human rights, fighting around economic opportunities and voting rights. That's where she really found her calling. And in 1904, she founded the Daytona Normal and Industrial Institute with 5 black girls. That's it. So if y'all ever see a picture, it's a kind of famous picture of her, and she's standing in front, and there's a group of little girls that's standing behind her. That's the school, and this is 1904, so there was hardly, if any, options for black kids to even go to school in general. And so she founded this school, really focused on practical skills. This included domestic science, sewing, agriculture, and teaching. Over the course of 2 years, she had 250 students within 2 years. That's it. She and took on this feat of launching this institute for black girls in Daytona, Florida. Through her work, and she attracted more attention from different types of philanthropists, both black and white philanthropists. So this included people like J.D. Rockefeller Jr., but it also included Madam C.J. Walker. Was a major donor of the school, and it was then eventually she added a high school. She added vocational programs. Yeah, just like really helped to build the structure of black education in Florida. And eventually, the school was then grown into what is now known as Bethune-Cookman University. I mean, she did a bunch of other things, just like within the years, she did a lot around building up like insurance companies, which is also where she got a lot of donorship for the girls' school. She became a founder of the first black beach that was accessible to black people in the entire state of Florida. Mary Mcleod Bethune founded a beach.
Say her name.
She founded a hospital. Also in Florida. I believe the hospital was on the campus at one point and operated for many years. And she was the only woman of color that was present at the founding of the United Nations.
Say her name.
In 1945.
Yeah.
She was the founding of the United Nations.
Once again, what would it have meant to learn about this woman and her achievements when we were young girls?
Yeah.
Looking for people to look up to.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. I mean, she did a bunch of other stuff. She founded the National Council for Negro Women. She was vice president of the NAACP at one point, and she served as president for NCNW, but I believe it was also Ida B. Wells that was going to be the president of this organization, and she basically beat her to the punch for that role. Did a lot. She's really known for being close friends with President Roosevelt's wife.
Eleanor, right?
Yeah, her and Eleanor were good friends, and so she was like, you know, the black woman that Eleanor and the president
all up in the White House
would talk to about many different things. She worked with A. Philip Randolph, who was the organizer.
She was around for a while.
She was in the mix. Okay, she was just in it.
Because Roosevelt was like president in like the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, and so she. Yeah. With the organizing work that A. Philip Randolph was doing with the porters, the train porters, was who he was organizing, and really built a massive union around that. She worked with A. Philip Randolph to, you know, organize President Roosevelt to establish the Federal Committee on Fair Employment Practices.
Black people have always saved this country.
From itself.
Ungrateful self.
She did a lot. She just did a lot. And yeah, I just encourage all of us to learn more about radical educators, radical black women educators.
Mm-hmm. Also thinking about how it is important for us to educate about ourselves, about these women and these educators, is that we also cannot solely depend on formal education settings to be
absolutely
the epitome of our learning experience. We have a responsibility, particularly as parents. Parenting is political.
Mm-hmm.
We have a responsibility to make sure that we are supplementing. Honestly, the school isn't supposed to be the primary place a child learns.
Right.
I mean, they're going to, yes, I think they help my daughter a lot with phonics, because these are people who are trained in education. So it's not to belittle or say, I could come behind an education and, teach my child better.
Yeah.
But it really is a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be. And when we were in smaller communities, there was a bit of the parents knew the teachers.
Yeah.
My grandmother was everybody's kindergarten teacher in that small town for generations. If you went to school in Belhaven, you were educated by Miss White. That's it. And she knew your parents. She knew your grandparents.
Wow.
Yeah, she knew whole generations.
Yeah.
And so we as parents have that responsibility to say, in the meantime, until we can build these revolutionary schools and systems of education, let me make sure that my black children know these things and continue to learn outside of a program. Like I say, whether it's putting them in summer camps that are black led.
Yeah. Black
SEL, shout out to y'all.
Shout out to Black SEL.
Shout outs. And doing these things to make sure, and I'm not going to get on my rant too much because we're wrapping the episode up. But I constantly have to combat some of the things that my daughter learns in school. How pilgrims are cool. The fucking Puritans. Who were so damn crazy that the Europeans was like, take that shit somewhere else.
And they brought it right over here.
And brought it over here. And then brought us. And I made sure she knows that. We didn't get here by accident. And so we have that responsibility to say, wait, we know what the school system is teaching our children. I know what they taught me. And that we have to actively say, let me tell you what's really going on. And I sent my daughter back to school one time, tell your teacher to tell you the whole story of Christopher Columbus. So we have that responsibility. Keep that in mind, mamas and daddies.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense to leave it up to the schools.
No.
Unfortunately, we can't but we also can't compartmentalize kids' lives like that. Like, because that's also not how
Yeah.
they're learning. It's not just in school. It's all the social aspects of it. It's what they're listening to, what they're watching in terms of on a screen and in person.
Watching you.
Yeah.
So they need to watch you. Like, in hindsight, watching, once again, as we talked about earlier in the episode, so many of our family members be educators, talk about their jobs and education, the work that they were doing. Seeing my daddy read the newspaper, and he wasn't just reading the sports section. He was going through the political section, the economic section, and then watching the nightly news, watching the History Channel. I'm not a history nerd for no reason. I was really mimicking the behavior of my parents. And so, yeah, we have to take the children to the museums. Take them outside. Take them on a hike. I know I say I didn't do hikes, but they have some interesting things you can learn on trails.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's a whole experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Some things that I want us to think about, you all to think about in education. You could talk about it from a philosophical standpoint. You can talk about it from an institutional standpoint. But this season is really focused on how do we build the revolution? You know, a better, a new one, a sustainable. How do we rebuild this country after Donnie Lewinsky tears it down, him and his cronies? It's not just him. But, you know, what does it look like? What do we imagine being visionary? What does education look like for us in the future? Because as it goes with Black people, as it'll go for the country. So as we redefine and revolutionize education, the country will follow, because it always follows us.
Yeah.
Right.
And people are doing that. Like, shout out to the Freedom Schools.
Yes.
I was a coordinator for a Freedom School here in North Carolina. It was in Raleigh. We had multiple, but like 2-week programs for teenagers, and the amount of opening and transformation that happened with these students just over the course of 2 weeks, us teaching them about Black history, about gender politics, about Southern resistance history, about queer history, just so many things that, you know, almost every day the kids would leave and be like, I am not learning this in school. Right. I've never heard of this. I've never learned about this person.
And you can see their spirit, like a spark in them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it lights up some light bulbs of not only like, wow, there's more stuff to learn, but also this, resentment, rightfully so, that you have around the lack of education that you have too. So, you know, just shout out to the folks that are really building these alternative education communities, these learning opportunities for people that are revelatory and joyful and expansive and creative. That's also, you know, part of our work as well.
Yeah. One thing I will have to shout out, I be talking junk about the church, but my former church when I was in childhood had summer camp.
Listen up, y'all.
And you know what? I'm about to actually have to shout out one of the developers of the program. This might really rock y'all. Hold on to your seats. I was a part of a church called Greater St. Paul in Durham, North Carolina. When I was younger, my mother more so was the member. And they had a summer camp all summer called Summer Summit. And it was for like ages 10 through like 14 or something. Mark Anthony Middleton.
Former
city council member. Recently dethroned city council member. He was the developer, founder of this program. And it was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Pastor Middleton, it's not too late to get back to that. You know, maybe that's where God wants you, because he served in that, I will say. And he had people who were Black men and women in the congregation who were professional educators. They were teaching us First of all, when we got in there in the morning, they fed us bacon, grits, sausage, pancakes. They made sure a child that is fed, like, you know, once again, coming from that legacy of the Black Panther Party, they fed us good. There weren't no muffins and orange juice.
Right.
Hot food.
Okay.
Then we had to go in the sanctuary, do some type of Christian prayer. And then we had to do all 3 verses of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
I know that's right.
I know it to this day.
I know that's right.
And he was in there hazing us like, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Do you know what it is to have hope unborn die within you? I mean, we had it drilled in us. And in hindsight, we were like, yo, this nigga's crazy. But we had such an appreciation for Stony the road we tried. Bitter the chestnut ride. And we had African dance.
Uh-huh.
We took field trips. We went to the Blacks and Wax Museum in Baltimore.
Yes.
I mean, they took us out of state.
Come on, Blacks and Wax.
Blacks and Wax. And that museum helped radicalize me too. I said,
absolutely.
They did what?
Absolutely.
I knew it, but when I saw it in wax, I said, boy, I swear to God. We went to Frederick Douglass House. We went to Atlanta. We went to Confederate monuments.
Wow. Y'all was busy.
And I went for 3 years. So like for 3 summers too. So yeah. But they took us everywhere. And it was such a beautiful, like I had all Black teachers. Mm-hmm. And we were doing African Ed. It was such a beautiful experience. And like those type of things, it sits with me 26 years later.
Yeah.
So shout out to, because work like that is still happening. So shout out to the Black educators.
Still important.
We was and don't let me talk about lunch. They fed us again for lunch and had transportation and dropped us off at home.
Oh wow.
Couldn't beat it.
I love that.
And the lessons I learned, the Black history I learned in there, sits with me to this day.
Yeah.
So we have to educate our own.
Yeah.
But we would love to hear how do you all see education being revolutionized?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the only way we'll have a good education system is post-revolution.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because like I said, we're going to have to seize it.
We have to seize it, y'all. We have to seize it. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Please, 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 you know the drill. Share, like, comment, subscribe, review our podcast. We are on the streaming platforms. We are on Apple, Amazon, Spotify. We're on YouTube. We are on YouTube. So for folks that, don't pay for Spotify, don't pay for Apple Music, you can look at us. You can listen to our podcast on YouTube. And all of our episodes are located on our Patreon. Mm-hmm. Patreon.com/Revolutionary Baddies. We're on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, all things Revolutionary Baddies. You can look us up and find it. Share this recording. We're talking about something that is imperative to the growth of us as human beings.
Yeah.
As human beings, y'all. Not just Americans. But like literally education contributes to our ongoing evolution as human beings.
Yeah.
And so that this is why we do this.
It literally education is the propaganda.
It has to be.
We've gotten the wrong education. We've gotten the wrong propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know the world for what it is and what it has been, it changes your worldview and the view you have of yourself in this world.
And still being willing to re-educate yourself. Because everything you was taught is not right.
We got to have a part 2, because re-educating ourselves after getting out of educational institutions is work within itself. Deconstructing. Absolutely. Lord.
Absolutely. We're not going to belabor it no more. Y'all get it. Mm-hmm. Y'all get it. Thank y'all so much for listening. We will be back soon.
Bye.